We could have homes on separate coasts, go dive in Greece with squids. Could have been so bleeping rich, but instead we had kids. They won't smile for a photo, they won't eat the food we choose. That's why we're heading to the Parents' Lounge to drown ourselves in booze. Every day we're more exhausted, we haven't slept in years. They hit me in the nuts so bad, my eyes filled up with tears. And yes, we'd like to fake our death and go off of the grids, but the truth is we are softies and we truly love our kids. So join us every Tuesday night to laugh at all our pain. Evening in the Parents' Lounge is the cure to staying sane. It still makes me laugh every time.
I also enjoy it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Parents' Lounge, our Tuesday respite from my maniacs are sitting right out there. I love when people are like, don't let them use the iPad. It's exactly what they're doing because I needed some time. So welcome, everybody. I'm joined, as always, by my partner in crime, Mr. Jason Gowin from the East Coast. I'm the West Coast guy. How was your week, brother?
Well, when I came upstairs, the twins had decided they were like, you know what, screw sleep. We're just going to eat a whole bag of Tate's cookies while their mother tried to wrangle them up. I'm like, I'm sorry, I have to leave you. I have a show to do. And I left her. And I can hear what's going on down there. I'm not sure I'm going to have a home to go back to.
No, I don't. I mean, we've talked about it. I don't know. My wife doesn't have any idea what I do for a living, so I don't know what's happening anymore.
Hello, Annette.
Hey guys, hi Annette. This is super fun, actually. This is I look forward to this every week because I get to vent a little bit. So yeah, it's been a crazy week. My kids only had 2 half days of school this week. A lot of kids are out of school this week, and it's like, remember when you were a kid and you were like out of school, you're like, oh, this is fantastic. And now when you're a parent, you're like, they're out of school? Oh, shit. So we've been trying to find things to do with them.
I read our schedule wrong, and I thought that the way they had it worded, it was supposed to say no special early dismissal. There was supposed to be like a hyphen, but they didn't hyphenate it. So it looked to me like it said no special early dismissal. So I was like, oh, he has a full day. And then he informed us today that he gets out at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So we weren't prepared for that. And now he's going to be home for a half a day. And I don't have near enough snacks for that or patience for that event.
No, dude, the snack level just now, it was like my one daughter. Oh, we're doing mathnasium. Well, we have so much to talk about. We have such a fun week. We have Thanksgiving to talk about. Coaching soccer. My daughters, all the team wrote me thank you cards, Coach Kaler. I'm gonna tear up again. They all came up and they baked me cookies and made little thank you cards that say like, hey, thank you for teaching me a lot of soccer moves. I appreciate you taking the time to train me.
You're like Mr. Miyagi in the youth soccer league.
Max off. It was funny. When the season first started, I think I was just like hanging on the side, like, yeah, do some drills or whatever. By the end of the season, I'm like, come on, make a move, cut, shoot, fire. I'm saying stuff like, pull the trigger, keep the ball on the carpet. Like, they're like, what is he talking about? But that's how we always talked because I always played soccer in college, and you'd always, it was just terminology of like, let it rip, blast that fucking thing. And the kids were like, wait, what?
You're swearing at them. You're
I didn't swear.
You're like that. What's the Will Ferrell soccer movie where he coaches the kids?
Oh, Ladybugs. Is that it?
No, it's
Rodney Dangerfield one. I forget.
Yeah, there's one where Will Ferrell
is just well. It didn't do well with my.
It didn't, but it had so much potential.
Maybe I gotta write it. It was really funny. And so we lost. We had our playoff game on Saturday, and we lost 2-1. And we hit a post, like we just barely lost. And the other coach, there was a mom of the girl on the other team was crazy good. and the mom was screaming at her. Ah! And finally, the little girl was like near tears. The girl was so good, and I wanted to punch the mom in the face. I was like, Jesus, man, what are you doing? She's screaming at her. At one point, she actually yelled at the kid. She goes, I'm not yelling at you. I'm yelling to you. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? And then the coach's dad, this old dude in like his 70s, was on the other side of the fence yelling at the mom who was yelling at the daughter. And then the mom would turn around and go, I know, will you shut up? To her father. Later, I'm kind of giving that guy grief. He goes, oh, I'm her father. And I was like, dude, like everyone on the field didn't know that you were the father.
Yeah.
She was yelling at the little girl, but we ended up losing. And I was just all day. It was really funny. The girls within like 30 seconds after were like, whatever, where are our snacks? And they're eating. And the three coaches, we all stood around with the other dads. And I'm like, I want to put my fucking fist through a wall. And the other dads were like, me too, man. We were texting all day like, I can't shake it. I couldn't shake it. I was so pained by it. But my daughter just didn't care. She was off playing with her friends. And it brought back like that I was like when I was in high school and stuff. So it was kind of really interesting for me.
Our soccer league ended Halloween, and I don't know if I ever told you this, but our sponsor, and I did wait before we said it so the season was over, but our sponsor this year was a portable toilets company. And the portable toilets, there was actually a portable toilet on the jersey. And on top of that, somebody thought, you know what the best color for the portable toilets team should be? Yellow. Let's make them the golden team. And I kind of think that whoever was responsible that chose my buddy and I's soccer team. I think it was deliberate. I do believe it was a deliberate that I told you we had the bad news bears. Like we were handed the Mighty Ducks.
It was Chico's bail bonds.
Yeah.
Except it was Tony's golden showers.
We were the golden showers, and it was deliberate. I know it was deliberate.
One time I went to a concert, one of those outdoor concerts, and I went to the porta potty. And it was one of those fancy ones that has a little sink in it, and there was water trickling. You could trickle to wash your hands, and there was a little sign over it that said, potable water, not for drinking. And I was like, man, how thirsty do you have to be to get into a porta potty and be like, oh, thank God there's water here. Nom, 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 nom. Like, I don't know about you. This is how I go into every porta potty. I almost black out from holding my breath. I'm always like, it's like one of those guys who do the deep sea diving to like 800 feet where they over oxygenate their bodies.
I do a quick jog and run, and then
they go into the porta potty,
and then I run in.
And then you're like pleading, going, please pee, please pee, please, I got to get out of here. And then finally you get one giant breath and you're like, and I'm always like, who's drinking water in a porta potty? The golden
Not me.
Well, speaking of urine, let's bring our guests in, shall we?
Yes, let's do it.
I want to do actually let's bring in our regular mom.
Do I have to?
Yeah, I mean, we love her. And,
yeah.
All right,
Hi.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kate Mulligan is here.
Hi, guys.
She doesn't get an intro.
Hey, all right. So here's our intro for we have a little special guest mom tonight. And honestly, if anyone in the audience is more of a mom than this person, they need to chime in because she is known as the Bride of Darkness.
Hi, Michelle.
She is the mother of 3, stepmother of 8, and the hottest grandma you know because she has 7 grandkids. Please welcome Winnie Schrader, otherwise known as Darkness Winnie.
Oh, yeah. Hi.
Hello, Darkness Winnie.
I was getting a kick out of your porta potty because I know somebody who thought the urinal was a purse holder. And they were using it to put their purse.
You mean like there's the hole where don't ever look into the abyss. That's the gruesomeness. But next to it, there's a little urinal trough, and they thought that was where you put your purse?
Yes. Either that or I've had people. Yeah, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Trust me.
I'm saying but honestly, I just feel bad that you know that person.
Oh, gosh. And I know some people who thought they were sinks. So,
man.
Yeah, they need to label that stuff.
Have you ever taken your kids? We went to Will Rogers State Park one time, and Claire had to be like, I don't know, she had to be like maybe 4 years old, and she had to pee so badly. And it was only outdoors, and so I took her to a porta potty. I've never heard a child scream like that. She would not go into the porta potty. She like turned her body sideways to hold onto the frame. Because as soon as I opened it, she's like, ah! It was like she was going to be kidnapped. She was trying to desperately get away, and she would not be.
Yeah, we have the ultimate porta potty story. Okay. Dave took the boys out to go Pokemon Going at a park near our home. It's a big park. It's got a lot of restaurants and stuff around it and outdoor eating. And this was, last summer when the height of COVID was around. So we just tried to figure out what to do as family, something to do together. So it's Pokemon Go. That's what we chose. Yeah. So Dave brought the kids out to walk around the park to catch Pokemon and stuff. And my youngest boy had to go to the bathroom, number 2. Okay. And, so they're like, well, Dave's in the car driving around while the kids are in the park walking. And they're like, Dave's like, well, just take him over to the porta potty. Well, my oldest boy decides to tell Max, well, you can get COVID in there. So then he was all paranoid. Well, I'll just hold it until I get home. Oh. Well, that didn't happen because they were on a street corner right outside an outdoor cafe. And Max decided that he couldn't hold it any longer, and it started coming out there on the street corner. And they called Dave to come get him. He's like, you got to get over here. He's going to the bathroom in his pants. And all he could hear was Max screaming, "It's coming out! And then Dave calls me, Max crapped his pants. I'm bringing him home. I had to hose him off outside, all because of a porta potty, and he would not use it. I'm like, that's what they're there for. To use it in an emergency. You use the porta potty.
But he was trying to be safe.
Well, he doesn't want COVID. Is that true? Listen. Can you get COVID from a porta potty, by the way? Ask your son, is that true? Is that true?
Well, it's respiratory. I mean, if there's like a weird drop, you breathe it in.
I mean, I can't verify that that's where I got it.
I mean, I understand it's not the most ideal spot to go to the bathroom, but when you gotta go, you gotta go.
Well, I don't care where my poo lives. You know what I mean?
I don't either.
I'm like, yeah, that's a bummer for that shit. Like,
that's
right.
I'm out of here. Soundbite I'm using to advertise this. I don't care where my poo lives.
Oh, I'm just so glad that Dave had like plastic bags and stuff he laid down on the seats, and I'm just like, he got home. I just threw his shorts and his underwear away. I'm like, I'm not going to even deal with it.
No, you don't deal with it.
There's no saving that.
That's
Winnie, I have so many questions for you. First of all, I'm trying to place your accent. And secondly, I'm trying to figure out how you are a grandmother. Okay. Unless Jamie read that wrong.
Well,
right? I thought the same thing.
What does my accent sound like to you?
It sounds like I grew up in the Chicago suburbs. Mm-hmm. So it feels like that, or my friends in Wisconsin.
A little bit more northwest.
Okay. We're talking about Minnesota.
Minnesota, yeah.
Midwest. Ding, ding, ding. Third time's a try.
You got it close. Yeah. Wisconsin people sound like Minnesotans. We sound the same. We just hate each other's football teams.
Yes.
How I'm a grandmother. I mean, I'm a lot older than I look. A lot of people think I'm in my mid-20s.
Okay, so then the follow-up question is, what's your skincare regimen?
I don't go.
Or what's your lighting regimen?
Yeah, I'm from Minnesota. I don't get any sun. That's I'm 40 years old, and the reason why I have 7 grandkids, they're all from Dave's side.
Yeah, they're not for grandkids.
Okay,
no.
Okay.
Technically, I mean, my oldest boy is 17. I could be an actual grandmother, but so all of the grandkids are from Dave's older children. Okay. Because together we have 11 kids. I have 3 of my own. My oldest is 17 and my youngest is 9, almost 10. And then his range is from 37 down to 12. Okay. So
one of your children is 3 years younger than you.
Yeah.
In theory.
Yeah. Okay. And it's funny because she calls me mama all the time. And when we're out in public, she's like, this is my mom. And technically, I mean, I am her stepmother.
You made a conscious decision, right? Like, he didn't surprise you when you finally got married and be like, hey, by the way, like, you knew this was coming with the package.
No, she was a surprise, right?
Well, yes, Dave's oldest daughter was a surprise. We found out in August of 2017 that he had a daughter he didn't know he had, and he had fathered her when he was 14. So he started early. But the cool thing was, literally, she was the girl next door. She was the neighborhood girl who liked to show the boys the birds and the bees. And he remembers her being pregnant, but she just kept saying it was her boyfriend's and that, Dave couldn't have gotten her pregnant because he was only 14. Well, if your stuff works, you can get somebody pregnant. But...
I know. It's so crazy.
But
we just watched A Teacher. Did you guys watch A Teacher on Hulu?
Yes.
No, I haven't seen
Mara. And she's the teacher who sleeps with the 17-year-old boy. What'd you think, Kate?
I didn't finish it. It made me both uncomfortable, but I was also like wildly turned on.
Me too. Me too.
That's so what is the name of it?
My wife and I were both like, "This is really
like,
creepy."
How dare they? Why? I hope they bone. Like, it's so wrong.
And then you feel
it's
guilty
so good.
for
it's
liking
really well done,
like
though.
that.
It's really well done.
It's not till the end where you're like, oh, yeah, I guess
yeah.
that is a crime. Because on my first album, I have a bit about male teacher to female student crime. That guy should be punished. But female teacher to male student, none of us really have a problem with that. But after that, I kind of was like, oh, I guess I do have a problem with it. It was pretty heavy. I mean, the only problem guys have with that is that we didn't know that was available when we were in high school. That's something that your father should kind of go like, hey, you can have sex with your teachers. What?
Wait.
I mean, I guess they could have, but they were all pretty elderly at the time. It would have been I would have gotten a lot of English toffees, probably.
Werther's.
Yeah, the Werther's originals. Yeah.
You didn't have any hot young teachers?
We love that show.
I don't recall any.
Oh my God, that show is a hot. That show was. I'll tell you what. That show. I gotta tell you. I gotta see my therapist this week. Thank you for reminding me, Jamie. It's a lot of unpacking to do.
I had one teacher.
It's a really good. It's really well done. It doesn't go like the way you think it's gonna go. You think it's gonna. I thought it was gonna go Mary Kay Letourneau. Do you guys know her? She.
Oh yeah.
She hooks up, but then they get married and have kids. Like after she gets out of jail.
Yeah.
Well, first she goes to jail. She hooks back with them. When she gets out, she breaks probation. They put her back in jail. When she gets out again, they have like 3 kids together. Like they finally did get divorced, but she just passed away like last year.
But
they were together for most of their lives. He was 15. She was like almost 30, I think, or something. Yeah.
Yeah. And I want to say that they let him bring in semen for her to get pregnant in jail when she was in there. Something like that. I remember them saying,
like a Coleman thermos or how?
I don't know. In a Ziploc.
He put it in a Yeti? Jesus.
Well, no. He put it up his ass. That's how you bring things into prison. What are you kidding me?
Oh, the prison purse?
You know that entirely too quickly.
Prison purse. I never heard that. Oh, Winnie, I love
the prison purse.
Yeah. Just put it in your prison purse.
Well, this show's going down to the toilet very quickly.
See, Kate, Winnie fits right in, doesn't she? You knew it. I was like, Winnie, come play with us.
Why do you think when you said it, I was like, yep, that's a good choice.
So here's some things from the week that happened. So my daughter wanted Lay's potato chips, and so we deal with snacks. Like we have to send them to school with snacks, and I would say 90% of the snacks are less than healthy. There's occasionally I put some fruit in there or a cut a cucumber or something, but there's a lot of
goldfish bags.
Yeah, there's a lot of that crap. So I got her Lay's or something. And so that morning she's like, hey, I'm going to put some Lay's in my bag. And I go, great. Yeah, super great. And so she opened the bag and she took some of the Lay's out. And here's how she opened the bag. I was like, and by the way, that bag was on the floor in the kitchen that morning. It was like a raccoon had come in and just ripped the bag open, take some of the chips, and then just threw the bag on the floor. And she was like, I'm fine with that.
I gotta tell you, I'm into her because she invented a spout. There is a spout to pour the chips out. I gotta tell you, it's actually not a bad move. And now you only have to fold up that corner as opposed to the entire top of the chip bag. I think she's onto something.
It's just a folding clip. I'm okay with it actually as well.
I'm not only am I okay with it, I'm in awe of it. I would like to shake her hand.
Jamie, get her over to Lay's right away. Get her over to Frito-Lay.
There's a piece missing. I don't know how did she like bite it with her teeth.
She cut it. She cut it. That's
a very precise cut.
She may have cut it.
Jamie, seriously, like that I would be so grateful for, because you should see how my kids open stuff up. You know, like the bag cereal, the multi-meal, where one side has like the Ziploc.
Yeah.
What they do is they'll take the scissors or a knife or just tear the complete other side where there's no Ziploc to reseal the bag. And I'm like, and then they just leave it on the counter wide open. And usually the cats are digging into it. Then I got to throw it all out because it's got cat stuff all over it. I'm just like,
when you say kids, you are referring to just Dave, right?
I was going to say, honestly, I cannot believe that my husband is your son. It's so nice to meet you, mother-in-law. You're describing my husband exactly. Like a waffle box. Like there's clearly one side that you tuck the little tab and he'll just like rip open like the long side.
Or the bottom of the bag. I'm just like, it says resealable right on the front of the bag. But yeah, that's kids for you. You know, every day I
guess theoretically everything's resealable if you have a hot enough heat. Like a heat kit or something, right?
Well, thank you, Bill Nye the Science Guy.
I had to go. Well, after that bag, guess what I did? I went to Bed Bath & Beyond that day and got like 12 chip clips.
Yeah,
I get the chip clips.
You know what? You only have to clip that corner. So she's, you're welcome.
It was a weird fold. So Thanksgiving's this week. I was in the grocery store and I saw, I'm from New England, and they had a New England coffee cake in the round. It was like, $42 or something at Gelston, some insane thing. And so it got me thinking, because my mother used to make a coffee cake when I was a kid. My mother has long since passed. But I reached out to my sister. I was like, hey, do you have Mom's coffee cake recipe? And she sent it. And I made it.
Oh, that was delicious.
I made some coffee cake. But I needed a bundt cake pan.
Yeah.
I didn't have one. So I put it in like just a regular rectangular pan. And it's going to cook for 35 minutes. But what I learned is bundt cakes cook a lot faster.
Because there's more edges.
Yeah, it took like an hour and stuff. So and then it was really funny because my wife came home and she's like, did you make a coffee cake? And I was like, I did. And she's like, what the fuck has happened to you?
It wasn't Entenmann's.
I'm not a cake guy, but I was like, she goes, did you make a coffee cake? She goes, where'd you get the recipe? I goes, it's my mother's recipe. And she was like, what? It was like this crazy confusion.
Look at you. You're baking.
Is that the same thing as we used to get in Jersey, crumb buns?
I think it's close.
Similar.
So
the topping looks similar.
It's the topping, by the way, which I found out because you don't know it when you're a kid. Your mother just makes something, you're like, that's great. And then when I made it, I was like, wow, there's 17 cups of sugar in this thing. This is pure liquid sugar. And the topping is cinnamon, sugar. So it's made with sugar. And then the swirl is, the streusel is sugar, cinnamon, and crushed walnuts. So, I'm just saying.
Well.
Maybe I'll start a little coffee cake business. Maybe, I don't know.
I mean, honestly.
Do you guys do a lot of baking for Thanksgiving, or do you even cook? You're cooking for 72 people.
Yes, I have a 20-pound turkey that's going to be going in the oven.
Oh, that's for Dave. What are the other people going to eat?
Yeah, I know, right? He just wants a turkey. I'm going to make the traditional, green bean casserole, which I can't stand, but I'll make it for some people.
Yes, get those French's onions on top.
Wait, who's desperately waiting? Like, wait, is there green bean? Is there green bean casserole? Because I'm not coming otherwise. Really?
Everybody.
Jason, yes.
Really?
The only way you can trick me into eating green beans is to put some crunchy onions on it and put some mushroom soup in it.
Well, and we also mix red and green peppers into it as well.
Oh, do you? Oh, I'm just gonna make, and then I make. So I'll make that. I'm gonna make some cornbread muffins that are gluten-free, so I can eat them.
Nice.
My daughter-in-law is gonna bring some type of potatoes, so I don't have to do the potatoes this year, which is nice. And then I also make these. I saute sliced almonds and garlic and some olive oil. And then I'll make green beans with that and mix them together with some garlic and butter. So you have almond, garlic, buttered green beans, which are delish. And then I have the staple, the jellied cranberry ocean spray in a can. That stuff is delish. I'll eat it straight out of the can. But I am going to make some gluten-free pumpkin pies and gluten-free apple pie for Dave.
That's great.
Well, we cooked. One of the first years with the kids, they were like 5 and 4 maybe at the time, and so we cooked all the stuff. Turkey and the stuffing and the green beans and corn and gravy. Made this amazing meal, and they didn't eat any of it. They were
no.
They wouldn't eat any of it. Sweet potatoes, nothing. They wouldn't eat any of it. And so my wife, I was like, I wanted to like flip the table over and just lose my mind. I think we ended up making mac and cheese like an hour later because they just wouldn't eat it.
Oh, I know. And I just saw a meme that it's the most perfect one. It says that you spend 3 hours in the kitchen and all the kids will eat just this. And it showed the picture of the infamous dinner roll that everybody just eats on Thanksgiving. And that is so true in my house. That's the only one eater, the Hawaiian dinner rolls and maybe one little piece of turkey. And that's it. Otherwise, they want Doritos. They want, just junk food. I'm like, no, I spent all day in the kitchen making this. You're going to eat it. And so I am going to sneak in some mac and cheese, but they have to have some other stuff with it if they want it.
I think that's fair.
We're going to a friend's house. We're not cooking.
You have to bring something?
I bring the alcohol. I always bring the alcohol. I'm the alcohol. So I had the first year. So this is our friends, and we go there last couple of years, and they were like, just bring a drink. And so I Googled, what's a good Thanksgiving drink, and bourbon apple smash came up.
Ooh.
So it's apple cider, little lemon juice, bourbon, and a cinnamon stick.
I'll be bourbon apple smashed with you.
I just put all and I bought these little cute tiny apples that I'm going to put a little cut in and then put it on the side of the glass.
Yes.
Look at you, Betty Crocker.
All right, crab apples. You talking about a crab apple?
I did think this week I was watching some movie and the guy was like, I'm thinking about going back to cooking school, and all I was like, that does sound awesome. That'd be great. I kind of loved working in restaurants back in the day. I kind of miss it a little bit. Maybe it was just a romanticism of being young.
Do you know who hates that right now? Your 26-year-old self, who all he wanted was to have a little bit of stability in his life. It's like, oh, Jamie, how dare you?
Bartending shifts. I was like, I wasn't going to make it. I was just going to just burn the place down. It was like, it's like 11 o'clock at night. There's 3 people in a bar and you're like, what am I doing here? I've got to get a life. And now I romanticize and go, oh, a bar, 3 people. That sounds awesome.
Right.
Truly.
We marinated our turkey.
Oh, did you brine it? Did you brine it?
No, I make a tandoori butter. It's a
okay.
Yeah. Here's a picture from last year's. We did it.
Ooh, that thing looks juicy.
It's oh my gosh. So I marinate it for 4 days beforehand, and it really softens up the meat, and it's spicy and sweet. It's like a honey.
That sounds awesome, dude. We might be coming to your house next year.
I know.
You're welcome, because I always get a turkey way too big, and it's just the 5 of us. And
the guy we go to, he took the deep fat. Is it a deep fat fryer? In the middle of the street, and just dunked it. And and then of course the flames. It's like I thought he was going to light himself on fire. But it was delicious. It was good.
I'm going to say something a little controversial.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get the scroll ready, Jason. I don't like turkey. It's like I got to say, like, Thanksgiving, like when I moved out here and I was like, oh, I'm never going to travel. I've never once since I've lived in LA traveled back for Thanksgiving because it's too quick of a turnaround and it's like the craziest travel time. I've never once gone back home for Thanksgiving. And I've just decided like, oh, I don't have to make a turkey on Thanksgiving. Like I could so like once we got together with friends and we had like Mexican Thanksgiving, like just like made Mexican food. I don't know. It feels like I understand the ritual of the thing, but you cook a turkey like maybe twice a year. So everybody's panicked. Is it even done? Like, God, is this thing done? Is this thing cooked all the way? Because nobody gets good at it. It's not like you make a turkey all the time.
Can I say something even more controversial?
Yeah.
I'm totally with you. It's
Thank
fine.
you.
I like chicken. Although the way Jason is cooking the turkey, it sounds
I know. I got to tell you.
I was on that boat until I discovered this recipe.
Okay.
Like sometimes a turkey's like that weird chicken you get at Costco where you're like, Jesus, this is a giant chicken, man. How many roids did they jam in the chicken? Sometimes when I see a turkey, I'm like, it's just a tough, big chicken. I don't know.
Turkey isn't terribly flavorful either.
No.
No, what I do is because I don't stuff my turkey with stuffing when I bake it, but I just use the Reynolds oven bags, which are great, and I just season the crap out of that
Oh yeah,
turkey.
that's nice.
And I'll take seasoning and rub it in the inside of the cavity. It's so gross, but it
Yes.
And then what I do is I'll take an onion and cut an onion in half and put that half an onion in there.
Yes.
Because that helps give a lot of flavor, and it's cooking in that bag and it comes out. It's so juicy and it's not overly, saturated with seasoning and salt, but it just has a really nice flavor other than just bland turkey.
It's such a weird ritual too, right? It's like the one thing of every year, like you have to have turkey on Thanksgiving. It's like when I was a kid, every St. Patrick's Day, my mother made corned beef and cabbage. And I was like,
yes,
it's
same.
like, which is the worst thing that's ever happened on Earth.
Ever.
No. Oh, really?
And
You
the
don't like
carrots.
Not a fan here either.
Oh, and she, by the
corned
way,
beef.
how'd they cook my mother boiled the corned beef.
Boiled the
Oh,
corned
no.
beef.
How would you? And I never thought anything about it. Then I got older and I go, how the fuck are you boiling meat? Why don't you just put it in the microwave if you want to destroy it?
No matter what meat it is, boiled meat is nasty. You have to bake that. I bake those in a Reynolds oven bag, the corned beef, because I'm Scots Irish, so I have to have my staple, my red potatoes, my corned beef, and my cabbage on St. Patrick's Day. And but yeah, I bake mine in the oven. I couldn't imagine what that tastes like boiled.
And by the way, Reynolds cooking bags are fantastic.
They
and
are.
I think that they are our new sponsor.
Are you just gonna say, are you doing the ad read or not? Hey.
All right.
What are you guys doing this Thanksgiving? Reynolds has a solution for you. Are you doing the ad read or am I?
Hey, I'm telling you, I'm a Midwest gal. We use oven bags and we use crock pots a lot. And I've cooked meat in crock pots. I've made a lasagna in a crock pot.
I did pork chops in crock pots. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, you can make a lasagna in a crock pot. I do it all the time. It's
that I haven't.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Can you make a coffee cake?
I probably could. I
made a Reese's peanut butter cake in the crock pot before.
Did you?
How
did it?
Some
Tell me more. Tell me more.
What?
Speak. I said, tell me more. Speak slowly.
I have. I'm going to jump. I'm jumping to the next topic, and I'm going to talk about the absolute worst thing about having children.
Oh, okay.
Kate, do you want to take a shot? What is the absolute worst thing about raising children?
That they stretched my labia out.
Okay. You know what? Then I'm talking about the second worst thing that's ever happened about raising children. Winnie, what's the worst thing about raising children?
I would say lack of sanity.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be
mine. Well, you have 75 children, so that's one thing.
Lack of sanity.
Jason, what do you think is the absolute worst task about raising children?
The worst.
Oh, task? I know what it is. I know what it is now. I know what it is.
The worst task about raising.
What's the worst task that has to be done raising?
Let me see if I'm right about this. Would he know yet? Or his kids too young?
No, he would know.
He would because the older one.
No, all of them.
Not even. Okay, so that's not the same thing I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give up. What do you go take the floor?
I'm gonna say it's laundry.
Oh, okay. You're not wrong.
I was gonna say homework and new math, but okay. Yep, go ahead.
That took me about 3 hours to fold that. That was you know, when you're sitting there and you're like it's like folding doll clothes.
Yeah.
Where you're just like with my big oven mitt hands, I'm like trying to fold a little girl's shirt like that. And so that was just hours. That was all day Sunday pretty much. I washed all the kids' clothes. My wife was working and I get 100%. See, Shannon? There's nothing worse. And here's the thing.
I don't disagree, but also you do know that this is like there's a lot of women in the chat tonight. Women, give me a thumbs up in the chat if this is
Are they agreeing with me?
Well, I was just going to say, women, give me a thumbs up if the fact that Jamie was the one that folded all the laundry is super sexy to you.
Oh,
I do it too. I do it as well.
Kudos.
Thumbs up to both you guys.
My wife didn't find it sexy at all. She was like, I go, hey, I did all laundry. She's like, yeah, okay. And
I made money.
Can I tell you how much I hate folding 5,000 fucking pairs of twin jammies?
Yeah, I can't even imagine.
Well, and here's the most frustrating thing is like they literally she'll just take everything out of the drawer to find one thing, and then when we tell her to clean her room, she takes all the clean stuff and just puts it in the hamper.
No.
I had to hide the hamper to go like, stop putting. You can't. What the?
Yep.
Actually, I don't know where it goes. I made my wife put it away. So my wife came home and I said, hey, I did all laundry. And I thought she'd go like, oh my God, that's amazing. She was like, yeah, whatever. And I said, can you just do me a favor and put it away? And she goes, yeah. I guess because I don't know where they go. And they're, I don't know whose is whose and what's in what. And so it sat on the living room floor for 3 days before I was like, finally, please, for the love of God, can you put the clothes away?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is.
That was, to me, I think that's one of the most like mind-numbing little like.
But see, let me see if you're with me. I like the washing part. I like the drying part. It's the folding part where I'm just like, well, now I have no interest. Now I'm like, because like washing, I don't know, it's so easy to feel like there's very few things that you can put so little effort in to get such a big result. Like, boy, there's stains all over this and it stinks and whatever. And like, all I have to do is put like this and this and do this. But it's the folding where I'm like, well, now I feel like
I make them fold. I have made them fold before. And they actually did a pretty good job.
I'm too type A for that. I'm
two of them folded. But honestly, it took me like, a long time to fold that. It took me 3 times longer to get them to fold it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you're like, to get the kid to do something, it takes me 5 times longer than just to fucking pick it up myself, which is, that's the problem. We had a nanny when they were little kids. We had a nanny. And I would tell the nanny, make them do it. And she'd go, okay. But in her mind, she's like, well, that's way more work than just doing it myself. So she's kind of
it is.
not do it. And then when we got rid of the nanny, the kids were like, hey, where's my lunch? Dude, go make your own sandwich, jackass.
By the way, what are the odds that there's a show right now called The Nanny's Lounge where your nanny's just sitting around talking about how much she hated folding your kids' fucking laundry?
They talk. It is. It's called The Park.
Yeah, it's called The Park.
It's called The Park. And it's like the nail salon episode of Seinfeld where they're talking about you and you're like, oh, damn, I should have taken Spanish instead of French.
Mm-hmm.
I know they're like laughing and looking up at me. I'm like, God damn it, they're talking about me. I know I had a friend. Oh, this is crazy. Oh my God. I had a friend who had an au pair and they've had au pairs before. And everyone knows an au pair. If you don't, it's
do they have to be French?
No, they don't.
But it helps.
This one is from a different country.
It helps for the affair.
It went awry. Like there's been, they get over here and all of a sudden they start to go on dates or something, and they're like in America going, I don't want to take care of your kids. And you're like, that's the only reason you're here, Jack. You better
that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So they got into a huge fight, and then the au pair was like, why don't you just take care of your own kids or something? And it was like she was gone like the next day.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah. I don't want one because I don't want somebody living in my house.
No.
But
I wouldn't subject somebody else to that. Nobody should have to see the shit that goes on here.
No, I don't want my own kids living in my house.
What a crazy thing though, right? Where like some years ago, somebody was like, oh man, I can't take care of my kids. I can't really afford a full-time nanny. What if we found a foreigner? What if we just let them over? They can only come for 3 months. It's just a 3-month thing. They come in, they have a visa. We kind of, it's like they're being human trafficked because they can't do anything else because they're only on a work visa for like 6 months. And then as soon as that's over, they have to go back. It's supposed to be like study abroad kind of thing. But what if somebody had that idea of like, what if we just bring young girls from foreign countries to watch our children? And we'll call it an au pair, which I don't even, a pair? I don't know what that means.
I'm trying to think of what it even means in French.
I don't know.
Of the.
I should Google it.
Somebody knows what au pair means. I don't know.
So, and you didn't know, like, what was your vetting process for that, like, Jamie? Like, so we've always known our sitters and whatnot here. What was your vetting process?
When we hired the nanny?
Yeah.
So when we had the first nanny, like Kate was working and I was working. And so we hired someone when the baby was first born to come and help us. And she was great. She was full-time. And we interviewed a bunch of people. And there was one girl, I won't say somebody's name, but she was very sweet. And she kept saying, I'll do anything. It was like oddly, like, it was like, well, we were like, well, do you cook? She goes, oh, I'll cook. Hey, Sean, how are you, brother? She goes, oh, I'll cook. And she was all clean. Like she literally was like, I'll do anything. I can do massage. I was like, it was all kind of getting weird and creepy. And then at the very end, she was trying so hard to get the job. And at the very end, she goes, hey, just so you know, if you probably are, I don't know if you will, but if you Google me, there's some things that are gonna pop, and I just want you to know it. I wouldn't even thought about it, but I was like, as soon as she left, I was like, "Where's my computer?"
Now I gotta Google
her. And I don't want to go into too many details, but there was a famous person, a little person, who had a sex tape.
Oh.
And she was the co-founder of that sex tape, I guess is the nicest way I can put it, or something.
Co-founder.
And I felt terrible for her. And it reminded me of a teacher, because at the end she's like, I can't get a job, man. I can't Google. Anybody Googles me, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
And we just had somebody speak at my kid's school this past Thursday. His name's Ben Tracy or something. And he had gotten fired for he said he tweeted something horrible and got fired immediately. And now he speaks. He goes to schools and he speaks and he goes, keep your mouth shut or something. something. And it just made me, I felt so bad for her, but I was like, we're not hiring you, but I felt bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a terrible time, because you can't make any mistakes, man.
Yeah, well,
you can't. I'm sorry, Winnie, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say I found the origin of au pair.
Oh yeah,
and it's French. It is French, and it means on equal terms. The phrase was originally an adjective describing an arrangement between two parties paid by the exchange of mutual services. So maybe that's why she just said, take care of your own kids, because that's something a wife would say to the husband.
I feel like my wife and I are really au pairs. We're not a married couple. We're au pairs.
That's right. You're au pairs.
She gives massages. She did.
I'm an indentured servant.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, dude. Have you guys ever had anything like that where, I mean, I guess back in the day, I had to live things down, but it was never like international news.
Well, are any of your kids into, I don't know, actually, Winnie, what are the ages of your three?
My three, I have a 17-year-old, a 15-year-old, and a 9-year-old.
Okay, so this probably definitely doesn't apply to you, but there's this guy, Blippi. Anybody familiar with Blippi?
Yep.
I'm sure on
Blippi. Yeah. Blippi was this guy, Stephen Johns, who used to do shock videos on YouTube. And there's like a video of him shitting on someone's chest. And
we all have those somewhere, Kate.
Classic Tuesday night at the Mulligan Murphy household. But I was just like, well, he got the algorithm right. Like, he figured out how to break out of, like, you can shit on someone's chest and then go on to be like the #1 children's star. And I really want to know his secret, because like I do feel bad for that woman. Like, being in a sex tape has nothing to do with whether or not you're going to be a safe guide for children, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's like, it does show like a lapse in judgment, obviously, but also like she might have been with that person who was like, no, this is just for us. This is my, like, I don't know. Like, you do feel bad for that person. But meanwhile, this guy Blippi is like a billionaire after, I don't know. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Stephen Jones.
Now you know what that doll is capable of.
Okay. Let me look up Blippi, because my youngest boy, Max, he'll watch anything and everything on YouTube.
My youngest loves Blippi. It's Blippi.
Okay, I know who Blippi is.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
He has watched him numerous times.
Yep.
Now he's more into watching other people play video games on YouTube, which I don't understand, but he is getting into The Simpsons, and I've been catching him watching a lot of Simpson episodes on YouTube. Ooh. And
I respect that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, okay. I'm not going to tell him not to, because I'm just like, some of these obnoxious videos are I'm just like, I can't even listen to them anymore. I yell at them, like, turn it down. They like scream into the microphones, like these obnoxious, like, preteen boys. So their voice is cracking and they just sound horrible. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like nails on a chalkboard. Turn it off. But now he's watching The Simpsons. So we're just kind of letting him be. We were talking earlier about the Tom Bernard show about screen time for kids, and I'm totally with you, Jamie. I'm just like, let them have their screen time. I need 20 minutes to get this done. Otherwise, if they're not doing that, it's constantly mom all day long. And I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I've turned in my mom card in for a half hour. I'm not here.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
I'm not
people
here.
Go, how long do you let them be on it? And I go, as long as I need to.
Yes, that's correct.
It's nothing to do. Like people go, I wish I was more proactive about like, you have 2 hours or something, but I'm not. I'm like, I'll do it until I'm like, okay, I'm back. I'm back.
Well, and it's hard too, because they use technology and tablets. Like our school district gave all the kids iPads. And they're like, well, how come I can't be on my tablet at home, but I can be on it at school? That doesn't make sense. I'm like, well, I understand. But see, a 9-year-old's not going to rationalize what they're doing at school is educational. And because according to Max, him learning how to play video games, watching other people play the video games is learning for him. So,
he's not wrong. He's learning something.
Exactly. So it's just like, I feel kind of like a hypocritical mom when I tell him not to. So I'll just tell him, hey, let's take a break and go play a board game, or let's go watch a movie together.
Oh, God, you're good.
I'm the one who has to take him off of it, but it's to do something else with me.
I love when they try to give logic to you.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, okay, I see your logic point on that. And logically, why would you leave your shoes on the front lawn? So I have there's other logic problems that we have. Here's one. Here, I'll show you. Let me show you a little logic. Yeah. I asked my kids to make their bed. So Claire, you can see Claire's the best. Claire makes her bed, and that's how Hannah made her bed. Okay. She pulled everything off the bed and then told me it was made, and I was like,
"Is Hannah part hamster?"
So Jamie, I just want to know if you're real clear on the fact that you are saving up money for Claire to go to college, and you are saving up money to bail Hannah out of jail. We're clear on that, right? Yeah. Okay, great.
Well, I'm wondering if in the 529, I think you can use it for in prison, like in the send books to her and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's on the horse's head?
Yeah,
that's your sweatshirt.
Cool. Honestly, great use.
By the way, that horse has lived there for we've had that horse since Claire was a baby. It's a horse like 6 years old. One of the legs is broken. She it's gone into the trash can and out of the trash can like 10 times.
Oh yeah.
But that's how they made
was left bed or right bed? Was Claire or Hannah chip bag?
Hannah.
Okay, it felt like I was answering the question when I asked it, but I'm just glad to have it confirmed.
We had parent-teacher conferences this week, and both kids are doing fantastic, and they're both different and stuff. But Claire definitely follows rules and is like very quiet, and Hannah's more like me, like a bull in the china shop, just storming her way through life. And so we had Claire first, and the teacher. All four of us sat down. There were two teachers and my wife and I, and she's like, "So Claire," and we all went. Yeah, it's going well. Like her whole report card is just outstanding.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't even talk. They were like, she's doing great, and we go, yeah, we should go to Hannah's, and then we go to Hannah's teacher. And by the way, Hannah she had straight A's as well, which we were really excited.
That's amazing.
About. She's super smart. She's great and stuff, but she's they're just different. But it's funny, and so the teacher raved about her. And I'm just joking about it, but I'm always like, because they're so different, yet so's the same. It's nuts, man. It's just...
Yeah, my two older boys are the same way. My oldest boy, he's very like, he would make his bed nice and he likes his room perfect. And my other one, and he gets straight A's too, but Charlie, he's a disaster. I mean, he still at 15 years old uses his shirt as a napkin. And I'm like, please stop, because I can't get those spaghetti stains out. And, but yeah, they're just complete opposites, but they're both wonderful kids.
I couldn't agree more. It's kind of nice, because I did think when the second one was born, I was like, I thought it would just be another, copy.
Yeah.
And they couldn't be more different.
My dad always says God doesn't give you anything with the first that you can use with the second. And I'm like, it's so
I would agree.
Like,
Does your dad write on tea bags?
Yeah,
he's the tea bag writing.
Yeah, he's actually he says it like this. Confucius say.
Yeah.
No, but it's truly. I mean, like I was like, yeah, that's totally true. I actually had to have a teacher once at preschool tell me, like, you have to stop telling your second. She goes, your second's not your first, because she knew both of the kids. She was like, don't stop telling James things in advance. He's not Neil. And like Neil was somebody who I had to be like, okay, I'm going to pick you up from school today. And once I pick you up, we're going to go to your 4-year checkup. And once we go to your 4-year checkup, they're going to give you a shot. And Neil needed all of that. That helps him sort of process it and prepare for it. James would start screaming from the moment I told him. He would be like, is it later now? And so she was like, you just put him in the car and you take him. You don't tell them where you're going. You just, and I was like, it didn't occur to me that, like, I was like, well, no, I have to tell them everything in advance. And she's like, you're talking too much to James. You just put him in the car and go. And I've really taken that to heart. I do think sometimes people like can see your kids better than you can. And like, not always, but I'm just like too in it. So I was like very grateful for that piece of advice. Stop talking to James.
Yeah.
I'm getting too close to them. I need to I should just go away for a year or two. Just, like Bali, somewhere South Pacific, just to
tropical. I don't know.
Yeah, to get a better perspective of what my children are like.
Yeah. Well, like in this house, I mean, we have right now 5 kids in the house, and they're all different personalities, and I have to address them all so differently. And it is difficult. It's like this weird line that I have to walk as a mom and a stepmom, because Pacey, my oldest stepdaughter that's in the house, she's completely different from her sister Ripley, and Ripley's different between Jack and Charlie. And then I have Max, who's he's Chris Farley reincarnated.
So that's fantastic news.
Oh, he's entertaining, but man, he's a handful. He's probably my most trying child. My oldest boy is on the spectrum. He was diagnosed with Asperger's and high functioning autism. So I would have to tell him every step of the way of things, like, this is what we're going to do. This was what we're going to do. And like my second son, Charlie, he's just a kid that would just go with the flow. He's like, okay, I guess we're going to the doctor and getting a shot, whatever. He's just so low key. And then Max is like, woo, he's completely opposite of all my first 2 boys. So it's like, how do I gauge this as a parent? How do I approach this kid and approach that kid and get the same result? It's difficult, but yeah, it's good though that they all have great different personalities. But like Max too, he's also on the spectrum as well. And I actually just found out, because all last year I had to teach him. I was his teacher for full distance learning all school year. And now I just found out that they may be shutting down Minnesota schools again. Yay, me.
Wait, what?
Oh,
yep.
No.
Yeah.
Are the cases that bad?
Minnesota is getting hit hard right now because we are a cold weather state, and we've been having a lot of events going on between concerts. I mean, we just had the Rolling Stones here. We just had AEW wrestling here, some other big concerts, and everything has to be indoors. Everything has to be indoors. Right. Yeah. I went to the Dave Chappelle screening of his documentary and his show, but we had to show that we were vaccinated or had the test. But all the other events, you didn't have to wear a mask. You didn't have to show that you were vaccinated or negative COVID test. And now our state's getting bombarded with COVID again. And now our governor is sending in 400 National Guard to help combat it, because we're so short-staffed on medical nurses and doctors to combat this. So now they're talking about shutting schools down. So I'm so excited for that.
No.
Pray for me, please. I can't do it again. I can't.
I don't know if I can do it again. I was talking to somebody this week, and I was like, I'm damaged from it.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. Like,
no, I know.
I joke about everything. I'm fucked up. Like, I'm damaged from it. I know a lot of people are super damaged, and I laugh about it all the time, but I don't know if I could do it again. It was not great. It was not great.
No, and I think for me, being his teacher, and him being special needs. I think the one thing that really hits me hard is, did he actually learn something? Did I do a good enough job for him to grasp? Because I'm like, I don't know if he's even getting the concept of what I'm trying to teach him. And of course, I had to learn Common Core math, which I'm like, I feel like an idiot because I'm like, I don't even
start on Common Core.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I thought Jamie was talking about. What's the worst thing
on my album? That's one of the bits on my album.
Oh,
I finally cheated with Hannah, and then I go, how'd we do? And she goes, we got a 40 out of 43. And I was like, wait a minute, you telling me I got 3 questions wrong on a second grade math test?
I know.
And she was like, yeah. And I go, what? And she goes, well, what's our grade? And I go, well, it's a 40 out of 43, which is a and then I started to understand how I got a 40 out of 43.
You didn't do the right strategy, Jamie. You didn't do it.
It was like I might get a second album out this year. Perfection.
Listen, I did not know that 8 plus 9 is not just 8 plus 9. It's 8 plus 8 plus 1. I didn't know that, guys. I'm just learning that now.
Well, if they went 8 plus 7, they'd go, okay, you're going to take the 2 off the 7, make the 8 plus 2. But then the 5's too tricky. So you might want to break the 5 up into a 3 and a 2. Then go backwards. Go
find the 10.
3 5s. And you're like, dude.
No.
I know. And he's doing 4th grade math this year, which is multiplication and division. Year.
So Hannah's doing, it's long division is 4th grade.
So let me ask you guys this. I'm going into this stuff for the very first time. I know of Common Core math, but I don't know about it so much. Was there something wrong with original math that we had to change it?
They call that the algorithm math. I found that out. The way we learned is called algorithm. Common Core is basically 100 different strategies of a problem to get the same answer that you would with the algorithm method.
I think the answer is there wasn't anything wrong with it, but I think the truth is that like original math requires just a lot of memorization, which is like basically if in Common Core if you can remember your 5s and your 10s and your doubles, then you can sort of basically they're saying like memorize these 3 things and then you can do anything. So an 8 plus a 9 is that 8 doubled because you've memorized your 8 doubled is 16, and then you add another one for that 9 gets you 17.
Or you jump to 20 and go back.
Yes.
So listen, I fought it kicking and screaming because my brain always thought like that. Most people do. We have shortcuts in our brain that we naturally do. Like Hannah today was just like, everything's a bargain. So if I can tell you what 9 times 9 is, I get a candy or something. I go, if you can tell me what 9 times 9 times 9 is, I'll give you some candy. She was like, oh, and her head exploded. And then in my head, I was like, 9 times 9, 81. Then 9 times the 1 is 9. 9 times the 8,
yes,
270. So it's 271. I'm just breaking it down by numbers or something, the way that most people do, but a lot of kids don't. And so that's why they get frustrated in math and they can't go. So it's basically trying to teach them some tricks, but it's super annoying. It is, especially when you have all these different strategies. And like Max, he only understood really one of them, and that was expanded form. So I told his teacher, I said, look, he knows expanded form. I'm just going to stick with that strategy, and that's what we're going to do for the rest of the year. And she was like, I totally understand, and that's fine. So that's what we did.
See, you're a great advocate for him, it sounds like. I mean, it just seems like, I don't know. I feel like, you know what your kid got? Your kid got a parent that was interested and loves him. And that's
I learned a lot from my first son, who was, in 2nd grade, he was finally diagnosed with high functioning autism and Asperger's. Now they kind of took Asperger's off the list and just kind of lumped it in with the full spectrum. But there are some different attributes to Asperger's than just having autism. And I was constantly advocating for him because he was sound sensitive. He had issues with noises. Like he couldn't even take a test in a class because if a kid was taking a pen or a pencil and tapping it, he would hyper focus on that tapping and he wouldn't even do the test at all. So I had to.
It's like a Christopher Nolan movie.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was just. Or he would hear a beeping, or he'd hear teachers talking out in the hall, and he would hyper focus on that, and he couldn't figure out what was going on in front of him. So I advocated for him for many, many years, and then taught him how to advocate for himself. And now he's a senior in high school.
That's amazing.
He gets straight A's and B's. He's not even on medication, and he's on his way now to hopefully enter the National Guard and become a pilot, because he wants to be a commercial airline pilot for a career.
Oh, that's awesome.
Winnie?
Yeah.
Winnie?
It was a lot of work.
You won Mother of the Night. You won Parent of the Night. Are you
Listen,
happy?
I was never even in the running. So
No, you're not.
No.
it mean that much, but
Yeah, it was.
But you
it was
showed up,
hard.
Kate, and I think that says a lot too.
Yeah, you were here.
Yeah.
That's it. Hey, listen, it's 8. Yes, Shannon, that is awesome. I agree.
that is awesome. That is so
I
fantastic.
get like, I don't know about you guys, but I get obsessed on little things. I mean, I know it's like I would then come back to the test, but boy,
We're all like, nope, that's just you, Jamie.
I think
I used to
everybody's
be-
on the spectrum a little bit.
of course, that's why it's called a
as a
spectrum,
comic,
right?
I've always said I was on the edge a little bit because I get, of course, I see things
Yeah.
from a different point of view, but
Mhm.
it's like trying to, and it's amazing that you can take whatever the way your brain's working and be successful with it. So I think it's amazing the way you kind of guided him through that to do that. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's what I taught him. I taught him how to figure out how he processes stuff and to use it to his advantage.
Right.
Mhm.
I mean, sometimes you see, the guys on 60 Minutes who's just gone autistic, but he's like the music. You see the guy play the piano, where you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, I know, right? It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
amazing. They're
I
like
know.
savants.
I do feel like, when your brain, I don't know, I've always tried to explain to my kids, like, if we ever see anybody that maybe is behaving differently, I'm like, yeah, but they know things that we don't know. I do feel like there's access, like there might not be access to like sitting down and listening to a lecture, but there's access to like, I don't know, like they can smell the wind in a way that I don't know what it is, but like there's other, I think that's why it's so important that we've started reframing that it's not disabled, it's differently abled. And I think like that's exactly it. It's like people just have different skills.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'm going to bring it home. We have Jason and I were laughing this week because there was an article, a BuzzFeed article, that says married people revealed the darkest secrets they've been keeping from their spouses for years.
Oh.
And so I'm interested. That's why I was glad to have two moms on tonight, so we can be honest in our secrecy. Like I've told you, my wife, finally I found out she had a secret credit card. And then she told me, she's like, every woman has a secret credit card.
She's trying to
tell her not to throw me under the bus. I sure don't.
She had no choice. Yeah. She had no choice. She was under the bus, and she was like, who's coming with me? Well, they're all coming with me. And she had the credit. She had a credit card. I wrote this whole thing down one day. I'll have to tell the whole story about it. I was like, I was looking at an email. Do you have a credit? She goes, no, that's just spam. I go, it's got your name and it's got a very specific number on it. It doesn't seem like just random numbers were chosen. There's a list of items, but whatever. So here's some of the secrets that people keep.
Are we going to do like a never have I ever? Are we going to put fingers
it's kind
down
of a never have I ever. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
One woman goes, I'm afraid to tell my husband that before we met and got married, I was hooking up with a married man.
Oh, I don't have that.
What?
Oh, are we supposed to put our hand up and put our finger down?
Yeah, if you've done it.
Wait, never have I ever?
Yeah, never have I ever.
Oh, you're saying you never?
Yeah, you put your finger down if you've done the thing that you read off.
Oh,
I have never hooked up with a married man.
So like
I slept with I hooked up with married women before.
Okay, well then you need to put a finger down.
Back in the day, but it wasn't a recurring thing. I was in San Diego or something, and somebody was on I think it was a vacation, and then it was like, you're what? And it was one of those. But I was never dating someone secretly.
So you just gave a souvenir.
No, but this said before they met their husband, they had slept with a married man. Did you ever sleep with a married person? Put a finger down, Jamie.
Wait, you're saying put him up or down?
Down.
Put him
one down.
Oh, one down. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Down. Oh,
okay.
yeah. Well, I'll just put
one
down.
put one down.
There's going to be a lot of
five.
questions.
We've got 5. So
here's one. That having children has made me hate him.
Well,
Kaler, you've got 2 fingers down.
I'm gonna go halvesies on that.
I know halvesies. I'll go halvesies too, Jason.
That one made Jason and I both laugh. And every guy I've ever heard has at least had a woman say who had his child to go like, it honestly made. And I said it's because in a way we're responsible for destroying your body in a way.
Yes, but also, why are you my? I've got 2 kids, but why are you my 3rd child? You know what I mean? Like, why do I have 3? I only signed up for 2.
I didn't even sign up for. I ended up with a 3rd with extra.
Yeah.
My wife told me one time. She goes, "The love I needed from you back in the day, I now get from the kids. So you're not really that necessary.
Yeah, you're free to go."
I've tried to tell it as a joke, but it's tragedy plus time.
It's actually no. I was gonna say the time. Yeah,
not enough time. How about this one? I have 2 children she knows nothing about. Apparently, Winnie was like,
well, Dave
semen sprinkler, just spraying people.
I know. I'm waiting for the email from 23andMe or Ancestry that you might have another one out there. But
I never told my wife that her mother tried to have sex with me.
Oh, honey, she better not have.
Oh, that would be weird.
That would be
Never had that early in our marriage when we were living with her to save money for our own place, and she was really drunk.
Wait, what happened?
The guy kind of explains what happened. I think we all know what happened.
No, okay. No.
I like this one. This one actually, I agree with. I love my husband, and I'm so happy in our marriage, and I see it lasting for the rest of our lives. But my whole life, I've been able to cut ties with people without a second thought. I don't want to do it with my husband, but the fact that I wouldn't really be bothered if we did end up splitting is troublesome.
Good old no finger Kaler.
I just never wanted to be with anyone who didn't want to be with me. I'm always amazed when somebody's like trying desperately to hang on to someone who doesn't really want to be with them. Does that make sense?
Well, I mean, like if
I think it happens a lot.
It happens a lot.
Yeah. Oh, I think it happens most of the time where people like, yeah, I just was always like, I always used to say life's too short. I'm not dealing with this shit anymore.
Yeah.
I can say with my ex-wife, I definitely held on when I knew that there were problems, and the fear of loneliness kept me where I was, even though, she was.
Well, it's all a confidence thing, isn't it? Like, it's all about like, what do you think that you are worth? Mm-hmm. And there are people who realize like I'm worth more than this bullshit. And there are people who like it takes a while to realize like, oh, I'm worth more than this bullshit.
I think everybody should be worth more than the bullshit, right?
Agreed.
Everybody should be like, but I do get it because people, especially now people are dating and it's like all online and it's, I have friends who are divorced and they're like, it's brutal out there. And I'm like,
yeah,
I don't think I'd have a problem, but it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
I could land on my feet, but who knows? What do I know?
Taylor, I have the same thought. I'm like, I'd be fine.
Be fine.
Be fine. I feel bad for the kids. I'd be fine. It'd be fine.
I love what we have. But if it goes away, I'd be all right.
It'd be fine. I'd figure it out.
Yeah. This one says, I've slept with his boss, and I know he slept with one of his coworkers. I don't know if that. This one's everybody.
I definitely did not do that.
This one goes, I miss being single. I can't tell them that I miss being single. I don't know. And Jason and I both have talked about that. I don't know if I miss being single.
I know being single was, I don't think I miss being single.
I don't think I miss being single either.
I miss somebody not requesting sex all the time.
Oh, my wife definitely. You should talk to my wife.
I just wish.
I mean, I got married late in life, and I was in my 40s, and I remember I was in my rent-controlled apartment down in Santa Monica, and I was. This is when I knew I should probably start to look for somebody to get married. I was sitting there, and I was watching TV, and something happened, and I was like, "That's bullshit. That is bullshit. I know, right?" And I started having a conversation with myself about what I was watching on TV, and I was like, "Oh man, I got to get out of this place." But honestly, great conversationalist.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I can see you being a great conversationalist.
You never disagreed with yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet he did. I bet he did.
I take the other side just to play devil's advocate, even with myself. It's so weird.
I can see you on a date
like,
with
that's bullshit.
yourself.
Not really. It makes total sense to me. Well, where the fuck do you? Yeah, like one of those. I'm not going to see this one. This one's really dark. I'm not saying. We're divorced now, but a few years ago, I slept with my wife's cousin one night when she was in town and my wife was at work. I don't think that's that uncommon. 23andMe has really destroyed a lot of people's lives. I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people who was like, oh, that's my brother Robbie. Yeah, he doesn't look like anyone else in the family, but what do you know? And then he does look like the neighbor. And now with 23andMe, people are really finding out that they are not who they thought they were.
You literally just told Winnie's husband's story about his daughter.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, that's how we found his bio dad too. I mean, it's been wonderful. Right. I mean, actually, our stories have been great. I mean, on my father's side was an awkward one. I found out I'm part Russian Jewish, and
congratulations.
My real grandfather was a philanderer and was just going around getting women pregnant all over the country and being married to multiple women at the same time. So there's that.
That's funny.
Wow.
There's my buddy Freddie. Hey, Freddie, how are you? I'm so glad you popped in to watch. He's part of the dad. We used to do talk about during the homeschooling thing. Freddie and like 25 guys. We met every Thursday night during the pandemic, and really, it saved all of our lives. I think we all were kind of like losing it, and we would have this thing.
Yeah.
So my wife recently told me the fact that it would be way easier to be a single mom who gets a quiet weekend every other week, but yet she still stays married to me, should show how much she loves me. Boy, the effort they put in, that's funny. Yeah. It's crazy what people will say in stupid arguments where they're like, you should
Mulligan's gone dark.
My wife sometimes will say, she goes, I gave up everything for you. I moved to the West Coast. And I go, I brought you to Los Angeles. You owe me. Like, you're welcome. My family. I know your family. Yes. I left my family too. We're in California. Are you on crack? It's beautiful out here. But she'll go, if she goes, you owe me. I came out here for you.
It's always a really good relationship if somebody's scorekeeping. That's always a good sign.
Yeah, right.
There's a little chalkboard up in our room. It's like an electronic scoreboard, and it just goes Kate 20, Jamie 0. It's
God, that's how it was with my ex-husband.
Actually, Jobo, we were gonna cut it a while ago, but we knew you weren't here yet.
Out.
Jobo, we are doing a commentary on married people reveal the darkest secrets they've been keeping from their spouses for years. You have any secrets that you're keeping from somebody?
I think Jobo has a really strong relationship.
I believe so. She lets him come to the show every Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly.
One guy says, I hate that she compares me to her ex-husband and I have to prove her wrong over and over and over again.
Ooh.
Oh, no, that would be tough.
Yeah,
I get compared to my wife's ex-boyfriends a lot.
You
the
do?
hedge fund
Yes, I do. A lot of them, like numerous ones where she's like, if I was with him, he's super successful and he's in Ohio. And I go, yeah, he's in Ohio. Do I need to say?
Yeah. You're like, I would also be
people in Ohio. Ohio's a great state. I've been to Ohio.
He never got married. That's why.
Sorry,
that was Joe.
Funny too. She uses arguments like when she wants to, and then she'll say something about like how that guy was a dick or something, and then later it's like how great he is. It's like,
yeah.
And I'm a good argumenter, which infuriates her to no end. And then I'm always like, you can't. I'm like a lawyer. Let's go to the record. What did you say?
Oh my God.
Can I bring up the copy? Can I bring it up?
I'm telling you, I truly have it's like the most unfair thing about me is that I will actually log things so that I can bring them up later. I'm like, well, that's so interesting because it feels like a counterpoint to what you've said before, which was that you wanted me to be more communicative about I'm like definitely somebody who's like always like trump card. Like I don't fight
think
fair.
About it. You get together with this person that you don't, you kind of know, you date, you're pretty close. You've been dating for a year or two. And all of a sudden the hardest job on earth, children, come into play. Mm-hmm. And then these two people have to decide how to co-manage this corporation.
But no, not everybody did it as fast as you did. You did it faster than the rest of us, I think.
I did what?
you dated Kate, married Kate, and had kids faster than I did.
We dated for 2 years, and then so we didn't.
I dated for 4 before I got married.
We dated for 2, and then we got married, and a year later, Hannah came. So we were together 3. I wasn't Johnny Depp in it. I wasn't Nick Cage in Vegas.
No. I only mean that I was 4 years before I even got married to the dude.
Which and he probably took a load of grief for that to go like, should I get off the pot, right?
Yeah.
No, honestly, I was so intent on not being that bitch that like I think I secretly was like, oh, I really hope he likes me enough someday, which was not good for our relationship either. That there was like this power dynamic that wasn't great. That I was just like,
was that your voice back then?
Yeah, what's how I used to call? I was like, boy, someday maybe he'll tell me I'm pretty.
That might be why he held off for a little bit.
You know what? How very dare you, sir?
Well, the power dynamic totally shifts after you get married and have kids. Like before the
once
power
you have
dynamic,
kids,
the girls are like wearing lingerie, trying to please you, like, hey, baby, hey. And then the power shift, it's like a seesaw where it's like married with kids, it's like, out of here.
Yeah. Now I'm just like, I don't honestly, if you want to cheat on me, that helps me out at this point. Like, that would be a welcome move.
She would crush me in child support. I'm never leaving anywhere.
All right.
Oh, you're stuck.
Let's do this. I think, yeah.
Jobo's been dating his fiance for over 8 years. I love it.
Yeah. How long has she been, by the way, Jobo, how long has she been your fiance? And you better not say for 7 years.
Also, Jobo, you have babies, don't you? I think it's his baby's mama too, but I could be wrong about that.
One person says my debt. My secret is my debt. The amount of debt they had, right?
Interesting.
I can see that being a thing.
And finally, the last one is they say that what someone says that I haven't felt the spark in a few years.
That's
no secret.
Yeah, that's not a secret.
That's communal knowledge, I believe.
That just happens with the territory.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it the chemical emotion of love dissipates after 2 years, right?
Is that what it is?
Yeah. There's a dopamine.
Apparently, my wife had an abundance of chemistry.
It's all nature. It's just hormones, and it's just right.
I'm turning 40 in March, and I keep hearing that I'm gonna have a second win in my 40s, and I'm up for it. I'm totally up for it.
You will.
I will.
Yeah.
God bless.
That's a weird thing. Like men were created, their sexual peak is at like 18, and we're at like 40. So I guess that whole teacher thing might work out.
The cougar thing is biology.
It is.
Hey, Dickie, buckle the fuck up.
And honestly, that science alone is why I think I could land on my feet. Right? There's a whole group out there just needing. I went to the doctors. The doctors asked if I was sexually active instead of in a long-term relationship. So he marked no. Jobo bringing home the jokes late at night. I love that, dude. All right, listen, this is our last one. And then we'll wrap this thing up because it was amazing. Winnie, thank you for joining us tonight.
Winnie, what a delight you are.
Always, right?
Isn't she wonderful?
She is the best. She's the best.
I cry.
I didn't even ask how you guys all know each other.
Well, I know them through Dave, my husband.
Gotcha.
So I hosted a show, Haunted Live, with Dave Schrader, and Dave Schrader is actually the reason Jason and I met. Dave reached out and asked me to do Jason's podcast, Dad Apocalypse. We kind of hit it off, and then we said we should do our own. And then I think Dave was kind of like, wait, those two idiots are doing a show together? Dave has been super helpful.
Yeah, so much helpful.
We ended up doing Tom Barnard, so we've done a bunch of stuff. So it's kind of family at this point. So it's been cool to have her. Here's our last one.
Winnie's other kids.
Yeah, we're two of her other children.
What do I need to do for you today?
All right, this is the last one, and then we're going to leave on this one. So these are secrets that people keep from each other in a marriage. And the secret is just how much I depend on her. For our first 8 years or first 8 or so months of marriage, my wife and I were never apart due to moving around and being in lockdown. Even now, we're hardly apart since we both work from home. She doesn't know just how sad I get when she goes away.
Oh, that's sweet.
All my fingers are back up on that one. Ding, 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 ding,
yeah.
Yeah.
That dude's sweet. Not landing on his feet, by the way.
That dude is, I'll tell you what, that one doesn't end well.
It is funny.
I will say, I did say to my husband, I said, like, listen, I know if something happened to me, you would be totally fine. You're going to find another woman probably within a week. You're going to you'll do fine. But I can tell he's just got like 1 foot out the door as it is. But I'm like, but I will tell you, 7-Eleven's going to get so much business from you buying 1 roll of toilet paper at a time the way you used to. Because there's just that's one thing in this house. He's like, do we have another? I'm like, check the bottom drawer. Do we have more? It's all like he is stocked. He never runs out of anything in this house because I am on it. And I was like, that's the one area where, like, he was the other day. He's like, by the way, I think we're out of tartar sauce. And I was like, don't worry, fish sticks. We can still have you for dinner tonight. Like, I was just like on it. And I'll tell you what.
I want to go to the cupboard and grab my 4 things of maple syrup. I'm the same as you. Everything's stocked up, and the garage is loaded.
Yep. Yes, there's like a bin in the garage. I'm like, go check the larder. Go check the larder. Did you check the larder? We call it the larder.
From the 1860s? What's happening in the larder?
I was like, go check the larder, and on your way back in, churn some butter.
Yeah.
And does he churn the butter?
You know what?
Yeah. He churned your butter.
Nope.
I knew he couldn't resist that joke. I knew it.
That makes it look so much more elegant than it is, Jamie.
Yeah.
This is how butter's churned, isn't it? It's a churn, butter churn.
Yes, yeah. I thought we were doing something else. I understand we are not. Okay.
Well, that is our. I can't do any more with you guys. That's our show for tonight. We actually went longer. We keep saying we're going to go, but thank you to our guests, Kate Mulligan and Winnie Schrader, for joining us.
Thank you. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, honestly, it's really great having moms on, because then I go, oh, yeah, no, I was stupid. No, you're right. I was an idiot. So that's super fun. Please come back and join us again if you would.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving to everyone, and just many blessings, and have a safe holiday. And if I don't talk to you, happy holidays. That's including Christmas and New Year's and the whole gambit.
And your birthday. And your birthday.
And have a good birthday and everything.
And have a great birthday whenever that is.
All right. Well, let's on our way out. Winnie, what are you thankful for this year?
I am thankful that we're still all alive and together after COVID year. Although I have a feeling we're going to go back into it. But no, I am grateful for my family and my kids. And even though it was stressful, it was nice having the kids home all the time and just kind of enjoying those moments with them when you had those good moments. And I'm looking forward to more. And, and watching them grow up and become young adults, it's been fascinating. So I'm just so grateful I'm grateful for Dave too. It's been stressful because he's been filming and I've had to take care of the house for 2.5 months by myself. So I'm very thankful that he's home now and I don't have to shoulder all that weight by myself.
That's awesome. All right, Winnie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Let you go. Hey, speaking of, that was the year right there. We're always going to remember that crazy ass year that we did that. And I hope we don't do that again soon. Kate, what are you thankful for?
I'm going to keep it specific to this particular show. I am so thankful that years and years ago, I did stand up with one Mr. Jamie Kaler, who was sort of, I say this about Christian too, like you sort of plucked me out of obscurity and brought me into this show. I'm so thankful that you introduced me to Jason and that he and his beautiful family got better from COVID. I'm so grateful for that. Truly.
See how sweet you are. You can be really sweet sometimes, Kate.
Every once in a while. She's not a cunt. You guys,
I knew it was coming, but
I showed you Chekhov's gun in the text. It had to go off.
She told us she was going to say that.
No, but I feel like that was. I don't think we really understood the gravity of what Jason and his family went through, and I'm just so grateful that you're still here, and I'm just grateful for both of you and for this great, and like even to introduce me to somebody wonderful like Winnie and. Last week, Betsy
and Clare. Clare. Yep, Clare Kramer will be back.
Feel like
I miss Claire.
I miss Claire too. But I got to tell you, Winnie. I'll tell you what, Winnie's like my favorite
group of people. Yeah. And it's honestly, it's kind of funny because, when we started the show, it was like an interview thing and we were bringing in crazy guests and celebs and stuff. And then the most fun I have is when it's like you, Winnie, Claire, it's just a group of parents. And I've been kind of going through my week about like the Lay's potato chips or making the bread and kind of bringing that in. And I think I think it's really fun to have everybody comment. And honestly, the show has become like this. It's like the steam whistle that goes off at the end of each week to go, oh, I got through that week.
Yeah.
We are thankful for having you, Kate, come and play with us.
For sure.
Yeah, really cool. So have a great Thanksgiving, and we shall see you next week.
Sounds great. Thanks, guys.
That was a fun one, Dave. No, that was super fun.
Yeah, right. It's what are you thankful for, Mr. Kaler?
I'm thankful for this this show and all the stuff that we do and stuff. So, and I'm thankful for all the people who watch. It's so funny, all the people who kind of come in. It's crazy. I get all these little messages where they come in on Tuesdays. So, if you are just finding us, be sure to follow us on Facebook on the Parents Lounge so you can see when we're doing our crazy shows. And if you are following us on YouTube, be sure to subscribe so you'll get ads for upcoming shows, because we did the 16600. We're doing some weekend shows. We're doing a Scotch tasting coming up with a bunch of guys, bunch of dads. Freddie, happy Thanksgiving, brother.
We love you too, buddy.
Freddie will be part of our Scotch tasting. We're going to bring a bunch of dudes in and do some Scotch tasting and some guy stuff. So. I don't know, brother. You bring it home. What are you thankful for?
Yeah. Also, if you, we are available on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, and wherever else you get your podcasts. So head on over there and leave us a review. Let us know how you like the show. And, every week, if you have questions or comments, send them our way.
I'm shocked. It's like 60. It averages like 65,000 downloads.
65,000 downloads a week, plus whoever watches the live show. It's crazy.
I know, it's super fun. So thank you to all of you for tuning in and kind of watching these shows. We're really thankful. And Michelle, have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, Michelle.
So that's it. Thank you for joining us in the Parents Lounge. Have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys next Tuesday. And we'll do a little holiday catch up to see how everybody get along with their families.
Absolutely.
All right,
good night, everybody.